Libya is gearing up to mark the second anniversary of the uprising that toppled longtime ruler Muammar Gaddafi. The Libyan government has announced a series of security measures to ensure a calm and quiet event. Earlier this week, Prime Minister Ali Zaidan announced a 4-day closure of Libya's borders with Egypt and Tunisia. International flights at all airports except in the capital Tripoli and in the eastern city of Benghazi have also been suspended during the anniversary. Still, the opposition has called for demonstrations across the country. They accuse the government and lawmakers of failing to rebuild the country after ousting the former regime. Nearly 2 years since the uprising, Libya still lacks a permanent constitution. The process of drafting a new charter has so far been delayed several times. Well, to discuss this more, I'm joined from Detroit by Abayomi Azikiwe, editor of Pan-African Newswire. Welcome to the programme, sir. Mr. Azikiwe, about 2 years on from the toppling and death of Muammar Gaddafi, the government now in place has no constitution, etc. What have been the achievements of the so-called revolution?
There really haven't been any achievements of the counter-revolution that took place, began 2 years ago in Libya. Even many of the people who were apologists for the removal of the Jamaahiriyya under Muammar Gaddafi are now admitting that the entire process has been an abysmal failure. There's been a number of articles that have been published by people even within the Atlantic Council and other publications that in fact were cheerleaders for the United States and NATO intervention in Libya in 2011. And of course, the leaders themselves of the General National Congress have called for deeper imperialist intervention inside the country, calling for the closing of the borders, and also demanding that the U.S. engineer some type of security system inside the country. So we cannot say that there's been any progress that has been made in the country over the last year and a half since the rebel organization took control of the capital.
Indeed. And what about the country's integrity? I mean, there are indications that the oil-rich parts of the country are moving towards self-rule. How much does disintegration threaten Libya?
It threatens it considerably. If you look at the fact that in Europe, you have greater economic concentration among the industrialized countries there. Also, you have the same situation with the BRICS countries in various geopolitical regions of the world. You have the North American Free Trade Agreement that brings together Canada, the United States, and Mexico. So for the disintegration of a country the size of Libya does not bode well for future economic and political development. I believe that eventually there will be a large-scale U.S. and NATO boots on the ground inside the country. This is what the rationale is from the proponents of the intervention of 2011, and it appears as if the leadership inside the country are calling essentially for the same thing, because they cannot rein in the militias. They cannot create a situation where there can be genuine political and economic unity inside of this North African state, despite its riches and wealth.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Many thanks to Abayomi Azikiwe, editor of Pan-African Newswire from Detroit. Thanks for your time there, sir.